And now we have another movie that you never heard of until I texted you about it the other day.
Yeah. It's kind of nice coming in mid-year because I have no fucking idea. Like, all the movies that I knew of that were coming out this year have already come out. So now I'm just like walking around like, what's Uncle Drew? Said that to me the other day. It's like, oh, you down for Uncle Drew? I'm like, the slang, the sex thing.
It's this new thing that's going around, man. Everyone is trying it. I texted you, and it was like hours later that you wrote me back, which I could only assume every single one of those hours was you researching what in the fuck Uncle Drew is.
Like, I was working, and I looked at my phone, I'm like, Uncle Drew? Is that? I gotta get on this conference call, sitting there like they're talking about stuff I really need to know. I was like,
yeah. Hey guys, can we take a time out for a second? I just need this answered real quick. Does anyone know Uncle Drew?
And so I'm like, okay, I'll take a look. And lo and behold, it's like, this is a fucking line of like Pepsi commercials or some shit. I'm like, what? The fuck are we watching?
This will pave the way for our Pepsi Man movie. It'll finally happen. We get a Pepsi Man movie. He just spends 90 minutes injuring himself.
I want to see a whole line. Like, I want to see a shared soft drink universe.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I need, like a Penny Hardaway and Lil Penny with Chris Rock movie. I need a movie to explain those, like, Sprite trailers we had for years in front of things here, where suddenly Drake's head comes apart and he's a robot fueled by Sprite. Like, I need to know what's going on with this. It's like Bicentennial Man, but with Drake and also fueled by Sprite.
This is paving the way. We'll finally get our 7-Up Spot movie. He's already got a game.
True.
He's already got a few video games. 7-Up Spot might as well have a freaking movie. And, like, yeah, I mean, in terms of character who originated from commercial, now in a basketball movie, this really is the slam dunk Ernest of our time.
Oh, fuck me, because, yeah. God damn it.
You don't remember Slam Dunk Ernest?
No, I didn't.
That's the problem. You do remember it. So, I mean, what kind of expectation does one even have, really, when going into this film? So,
low to none. Conservatively.
What it says on the poster, Pepsi Productions presents. So, like, we got here, like, right, the movie started at 7:15. We got here, like, right at 7:15. And so when we were walking up to the theater, I was thinking in my head, like, wait, fuck, I haven't looked inside that theater yet. Like, we might get Pitch Perfect 3'd, where, like, I'm so careful about, like, everything else, but then, like, Pitch Perfect 3 slips by me. I don't look in the theater, and we're stuck in the front goddamn fucking row for Pitch Perfect 3. I was having that thought in my head.
Which, yeah, I kind of, at a point, I kind of thought about that whenever I'm like, no, I got time. I'll get a fucking drink from the concessions. There's plenty of time. Because who's going to come to see this? And I started thinking, like, wait, isn't everybody in this basically some, like, famous basketball player, but in old man makeup?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be crowded in there. It's going to be fucking crowded in there. And it was in one of the smaller theaters, too. Not, like, the smallest, but small to where, like, half an audience of the big theater would, like, make it a packed house. And we circle around the corner and look around. I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. It's fucking packed in here. Are we going to be stuck in the front row for Uncle Drew? Luckily, there were a few seats open, like, in the back, near, like, the back right corner. And I think I know why those seats were open when we were sitting back there, because, well, on the plus side, eventually the people behind me stopped kicking my seat.
Oh, shit, man.
Eventually they did, but it was so loud in that theater. So loud, it was like being at an NBA game.
I am mostly sure that the group of 10 to 12 year olds that were behind us actually thought this was happening live.
Oh yeah, because there was whenever like a shot was made in this and the climactic battle scene, basketball scene, sorry, I'm accidentally reviewing Battle of the Year.
This is the Shaq Fu movie.
Oh, it comes close. When Shaq is introduced into this movie, it is via martial arts.
In his dojo.
Yes.
Which
he knows that shit.
Shaq Fu, also Pepsi.
Oh yeah. We might finally get our Shaq Fu movie if they make a spin-off of this film.
This is a tie-in. It all comes back together.
So, like, whenever a shot was made in the game in this movie, there was more screaming in that theater than if the building was on fire.
Screaming and applause and audible gasps when a shot would, like, miss or somebody would, like, actually, like, get a hand on the ball and, like, knock it away. It's like, It's like, this is scripted. It's not really happening.
I'd like to think it's because there's a lot of people in there who have money riding on this game.
I swear to God, somebody was making bets because the hush that fell over the crowd whenever like he was making that final 3-point shot to win the game by 1. Oh shit! You could have heard a pin drop in that place.
I haven't been in a theater that it was that intensely silent at that moment since the climax of 8mm. Fuck. But no, I liked when like it would be like not a moment in the movie that would cause like a huge applause, but they would be like reacting to an actor on screen. So like one guy in the audience might be saying something like, okay, when JB Smoove pops up in the movie, and there was like one guy like a couple rows ahead who just goes, JB Smoove.
That's why I bought the ticket.
Yeah. And also like I forgot there was a guy next, because the guy next to me actually wasn't making that much noise, but a couple of times he would, and it would startle me because I'd forget he was there. So like he wouldn't be making very much noise, but then there was like a Trump joke in the movie, and the guy, you heard him? The guy is like, like, Jesus.
I heard him laugh, and then some girl like 5 rows ahead of us, like a minute, like a solid minute after that joke was like, Trump? Like, did you just now catch up?
And
or was she just standing there like that, baffled for that long?
I've seen a few movies this year that seem to have come into this time via some kind of time portal from between like 1997 and 2003, one of the other ones being Show Dogs. And this also being another one, but look, I mean, my expectations weren't good going into this movie. I'd gotten the trailer before a bunch of times for this film. Like, they showed a trailer for this in front of Black Panther, and
I mean, they're basically the same.
So, but this movie's actually not that bad. Like, for a movie that is starring a bunch of basketball players in old man makeup with a plot that's, you know, kind of like Space Jam.
It's like an all live action Space Jam mixed with a more uplifting version of like Bad Grandpa.
Yeah, with a little He Got Game thrown in there. Like this, when I was watching this movie, I was sitting there going like, okay, it's not great by any means, but it's a perfectly harmless film. I'm actually getting a decent amount of chuckles out of it. The movie is essentially just 90 minutes of trash talk, but it's people who are very experienced in it, for one, and just kind of trash talking and shit talking each other for about 90 minutes. Yeah. And mostly it works.
Yeah, a lot of the scenes end up just being like Nick Kroll or Lil Rel or both of them just like one-linering each other to death.
Nick Kroll is one of those villains in this movie that just hates our hero for, like, really no reason necessarily. He just hates him. He wants everything this guy's got. He wants to fuck his girlfriend. He just wants to dick that he only exists in this universe to fuck with our lead character.
And, I mean, conservatively, they're both in their mid-30s,
Yeah.
late 30s. And in the flashback, they're maybe 10 whenever, like, the actual, like, beef between them started. So that means that for 25, almost 30 years, he's just been dragging this around all the time.
And that's what it is. Like, Nick Kroll is the coach of one basketball team. He takes, what's the lead actor's name? He's from Get Out. He's the friend. They mentioned that in this movie, too.
Yeah, I like that.
Little Ray.
Yeah, I like that he... Yeah, it just... I don't know, I enjoyed that. Like, a nice... and a solid Get Out joke, not just like...
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought that was, like, a better joke than the Thanos joke in Deadpool 2.
That one was very forced in there.
Yeah, this one I was like, okay, that's actually pretty funny. That got a good laugh out of me. And
it seems like the sort of thing like this is like as long as it makes sense in the movie, I'm okay with like references like that, even when it's like fuck, like, you know, if it was something like how like Kevin Smith even does like very like self-referential things sometimes.
Right.
It's like, as long as it fits in the movie, like I would legitimately assume that his character in the movie has seen Get Out and probably makes that joke a lot.
And I kind of felt that way too about, like, because look, the movie is produced by Pepsi, and this being the kind of movie that it is, you do expect a high amount of product placement in the movie, and there is. I mean, certainly.
It's a lot more subtle than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, there's a couple of shots in the movie where it's like, okay, I know they want me to be mainly focused on this Pepsi machine in the hospital, but by and large, way more often than not, whenever there's a Nike logo, whenever there's a Pepsi logo, it's where it would, like, realistically be in these scenes.
Well, and at one point, like, Nick Kroll's character is giving an interview on ESPN and straight up gives a shout-out directly to Pepsi.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, but that fits for this scene. Like, like, yeah, like, there was product placement everywhere, but it wasn't, like, gratuitous, like, people just saying, like
yeah,
boy, is this refreshing. I love that smooth taste that I can only get from a Pepsi product.
Yeah, it wasn't doing that. It was like, okay, I expect there to be a Pepsi logo in the basketball
better
court.
Than Godzilla.
Yeah, or Man of Steel, or Man of Steel, or Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I always think of like Godzilla in 1985, and they're like, here, let's go back out to the hallway in front of this Dr. Pepper machine. Yeah. I need to talk to you, but out here for the giant vending machine that we keep in the hallway here at the Pentagon.
This probably has the least amount of, like, badly done product placement that in any movie Shaquille O'Neal's ever been in. And there are moments where it does get, like, dramatic, and you just don't expect it in a movie like this, and it's bizarre when you're watching, because I'm watching, like, this scene in this movie where, okay, Kyrie Irving and Shaquille O'Neal, they have beef in the movie because when they were younger, he slept with Shaquille O'Neal's girlfriend, but then Shaquille O'Neal ended up marrying her, and so they've had this beef ever since, and there's really been no apology because of it. And then there's a part where this apology does happen, and it's in front of her, it's over her grave, because she had died a couple of years ago. And I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, okay, this isn't like...
And it's both of them being like, you wanna know why I never apologized? I loved her too. It's like, oh God.
I know, I'm like, okay, they are actually making this work. I'm like, this scene's not going to win any Oscars, but I'm like, I'm not unintentionally laughing right here. Like, they are actually pulling this off.
Yeah, it's like, I am with you on this journey. Like, yeah, all right, I'm in.
It is a genuine movie. Like, there is a lot of, and I think it's what carries it through scenes like that, as well as, like, there is a high amount of heart to this film. It actually does have a pretty solid message to it. Like,
well, and honestly, like, I found, like, some of the moments that didn't really hit for me were moments when, like, it was actually, like directly trying to be funny in the universe of the movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, not like, oh, well, clearly this is a joke. You know, like, I'm fine with that, but like, honestly, like, I really could have done without, like, Tiffany Haddish's character.
Oh, sure.
Like, I have no problem with her, and some of the stuff that she was saying was funny, but a lot of times, like, whenever she was, like, just going off about shit, it's like, this just feels way too forced.
I like Tiffany Haddish a lot, so I was fine with her, because she's really in this about as much as you see in the trailer, so that didn't necessarily bother me. I mean, the only thing that did really, because, I mean, I knew where everything was going with that character, like, because I've seen that in movies like this before, where the guy's with the girl, then they break up because he's down on his luck, she gets with the villain, then she tries getting back with him at the end. I've seen it before in a lot of things, but I can't say I was really laughing out loud at most of her stuff in the movie, but I do like Tiffany Haddish, so I was fine with a lot of that stuff.
But yeah, no, I was just saying, like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, like, some of that stuff, like, it felt like it, like, you've got a good, like, natural thing going here, but then, I don't know, it's like some of her stuff was just, it was too forced feeling. Like, just for, like, kind of the nice, like, undercurrent that a lot of the other stuff had.
Right. No, I can see that. I mean, during that section of the movie, like, towards the end, when she's in at the beginning, she's in at the end, too, but, like, towards the end, like, the stuff in the basketball game, the only thing that was throwing me off in that section, because, really, I mean, it's shot and edited perfectly fine, like, the only thing that was really throwing me off there was no one was really having, in the crowd or elsewhere, no one was really having any kind of reaction to these, like, 80-year-old men who were amazing at this game.
Yeah, it was pretty much like, it's like, oh man, here's all these old guys, and then by the end of the first game, full bleachers, and then after that, it's like, everybody's just, okay. Like, they were making such a big deal at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, Uncle Drew, like, he was the game. Like, he was the best there would ever be. And then he vanished.
It does.
It's like a ghost story. He's like fucking Sasquatch. He just wandered off into the woods and was never seen again. It's like, and then he shows back up and everybody's like, oh, check out, y'all, it's Uncle Drew.
I know, right? Because it does that cliche
okay.
at the beginning, because that's a cliche you see in these kind of movies where there's, like, the movie's about a fictitious character, but then there's real people in the opening, like, oh yeah, he taught me everything I know. Like, yeah, like, it does that thing in the movie. But yeah, once Uncle Drew comes into it, it's like, okay, it doesn't seem like he's been in hiding, really. Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah, and everybody's fine with it. Like,
yeah.
Especially, like, as big of a deal as, like, they made about the fact, like, oh, like, he used to play here on, like, the Rucker. It's like, okay. And then he finally shows up back up, and he's like, they're just like, oh, man, here's, like, all these old guys, like, oh, shit, okay, well, here's Uncle Drew. He shoots 3-point downtown scores. Like, they're just like, okay, just playing this like anything else now, I guess. Like,
and then poor Shaq has a heart attack. That happens. It would be like you're watching Space Jam. Yosemite Sam just has a brain aneurysm. But I'm sitting there watching it, going like, I am invested in this. I'm like, this is. I walked into this movie expecting, like, it's gonna be like the fucking Minis with Dennis Rodman, but this is a fairly entertaining movie, and it just does have a lot of heart to it. Like, when they're doing stuff, like, in front of the grave, and Shaq, like, having a heart attack, I'm like, you know, they are going for this. They are really going for this plot, this story, like, all of these plot points. Why not? And the actors, they work. Like, they're not trained actors by any means, but they work in their roles.
It really doesn't come across as like, and then here's, you know, famous person who's not an actor jammed in this role, and they're like, oh, hey guys, I heard the basketball game is really good today. Nailed a cameo.
Like you're watching one of the airport movies from the 70s. OJ's not a pilot. But like, too soon. No, like, and especially considering how the makeup in this movie looks like old people makeup from the 70s. Like, you can, like, see the seams around it. It looks like when you if you were to take a picture of Shaq and put it into the Face app on your phone. Like, that's kind of what the old man makeup looks like in this.
Well, and especially considering how Uncle Drew is the main character, and they do a lot of tight close-ups. At no point is anyone ever going to look at that and like, oh shit, that old man can ball.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit. That's a lot of makeup. Because, I mean, it looked worse than when they would do, like, the Irving Zeisman makeup on Johnny Knoxville, like, back in the actual, like, Jackass series.
Yeah.
Like, when it was just like, oh, quick, throw this on real quick and run back out there.
But you could always tell when it was, like, you could always tell when it would be somebody who would, like, turn out to be, like, a basketball player because, like, yeah, the makeup would be that. I was like, okay, that person's sitting over there, all right, that doesn't look like an actual old person, but...
It's like, I don't know, the preacher's wife. Eventually, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be really good at basketball.
I know, yeah, exactly. I'm like, I have a feeling that towards the end, she's gonna end up joining the team. But, like, I mean, we've seen a lot of bad Tyler Perry movies. This movie, as I'm watching this, I was
Why would you even say that? I mean, how can you even...
I'm telling you, dude, I can't wait for you to see Acrimony. Like,
pumped.
So, when I was watching this movie, I was thinking to some of the Tyler Perry movies that we went to go see, and I'm watching this going like, this is just a much better movie than so many of those, because I'm like, I'm watching these, I'm like, alright, yeah, like, this movie's not a masterpiece by any stretch, but I'm like, I'm not confused by it. Like, yeah. I'm not confused by any directing choice, by any story choice, by any character motivation, or a crazy reveal, or anything like that. I'm like, okay, like, this movie flows from one scene to the end. Like, I'm not sitting here questioning how life suddenly works.
It wasn't like like Kyrie playing, you know, Uncle Drew, but also a young version of himself, or an old woman as well. And, like,
yeah,
his own sister. Like, no, he's just everybody pick one character and stick with it.
These, yeah, like these do really feel like characters. Like, I mean, some certainly get more screen time than others, but everything that Uncle Drew is going through in this movie, like his backstory and like kind of the arc he has with like Shaq, is way better than shit that we saw like with Uncle Joe and shit in like those Medea Halloween movies. Yeah. And like just sitting there talking about being a pimp every other line and just saying something nasty.
Yeah, some of that stuff, like, it was bordering on just like dementia style rambling.
Yeah.
It's like, you sure you want to keep all of this? Like, you did like 5 takes and just saw like, yeah, I like them all. And I'm the director, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we're filming this in my house.
Also, yeah, I'm glad that this all didn't feel like it took place in one house.
Yeah, this movie looked like it at least took more than 2 days to make. No, I don't know if it's a movie I could say to like rush out into theaters to go see, because I mean, I got chuckles throughout it. There weren't a number of times I was really like laughing loudly like a lot of the audience was, but like I got enough chuckles out of it. It is an entertaining movie. It would be a solid rental. Like it. Yeah, I mean, it would.
If you're into basketball, then
yeah, absolutely.
I'd say definitely get, like, there's probably a shitload of jokes in there and references and stuff.
Yeah.
That went right past us because
yeah,
I fucking hate sports. Suck at them. don't give a shit. Don't watch them. Don't play them.
Not until they make rollerball an actual thing.
Yes. Then I am there. Fucking there. Step one would be learning how to skate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're into like sports, you keep up with that shit. Yeah, you'll probably dig this. The younger crowd in there definitely was fucking
holy
loving
shit.
this.
Yeah.
Good God.
This,
like, it was, if you're 15 or less, like, this definitely seems like your thing.
if you do, and that's a good point too, because like if you do go see this in a theater, look, I again, like I said, I don't think you need to rush out and go see this necessarily, but if you do want to go out to the theater to see this, make sure it's a packed house.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you'll want to have a little, cause honestly, I think it's one of those, like, if it had just been me and you sitting in an empty theater, I feel like this would have gone much differently.
I still would have been fine with it, I think. It wouldn't have been, I still don't think we would have been sitting here, like, reviewing it as if it is one of the Tyler Perry, because those movies were packed too when we went to go see them. Like,
oh yes,
Medea Halloween and all that shit. Like those were packed too, and we still came out like, oh my god, that's a fucking piece of shit. This though, like, yeah, the audience certainly does help an experience like this. But if we were the only ones sitting in the theater, I wouldn't have been hating this movie. I would have been sitting there thinking, damn, I wish it was crowded in here.
Because like a black thriller, like I will take a
hell yeah
house every time.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, yeah. Oh, when's the next one of those coming out? Sarah and I went to go see that Breaking In movie like a month or so ago, and it wasn't very crowded in there, so it wasn't as fun.
Reverse Straw Dogs.
Pretty much, yeah. It wasn't very good. Like, not even like funny bad, really. It just kind of was what it was, and like that was it. But no, yeah, it's kind of a miracle that this movie turned out the way it did.
It shouldn't have added up to what it did, but I'm glad it did. Like, yeah. And I gotta say, like, one of my favorite moments in the entire thing, like, the one joke that actually, like, really fucking got me. When they're at that gas station, there's, like, that, like, junior high girls basketball team.
Yeah.
That he challenges them up against. And they're just getting, like, the shit kicked out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of, like, time out. Okay, game point. If these girls score 1 point, that's it. And they haven't made a fucking basket. And, like, they're, you know, he kind of mentions, like, oh, man, like, I bet, like, we don't have any money for the gas. Like, we're fucking stranded here. Like, this has to be it. And they all kind of get this look of determination in their eye. Like, oh, we didn't know there were stakes involved. And you're like, oh shit, here's where they're gonna fucking turn it around. They're gonna turn it around. Flips back over and it's like check, pass, score, game's over. Yeah. In one fucking shot. No, like no dialogue. It's like a 5-second shot. There's no dialogue, no cuts. It's just so quick. It's just check, pass, shot. It's like, I don't know why. I just that little bit of little bit of anti-humor on that one just nailed it for me perfectly.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I think what was getting me was dude baptizing that baby. And handling it like it was a basketball. Like the only
that scene felt like it was out of a fucking Eddie Murphy movie that I missed.
Yeah, it did.
Like if that was a scene that you told me, like it's like you never saw this part of Coming to America, I'd be like, I guess I didn't. I guess I missed this part.
Nah, dude, I'm telling you, uncut version of Norbit, not that bad. It's got the basketball baptism baby scene in it.
You mean Oscar award-winning film. You say his full name.
That's right. Forgot about that. That makeup is always the best category at the Oscars. I'm pretty sure Bad Grandpa was up for an Oscar too.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a grab bag. It's like, what's a movie that happened?
What's a movie that had makeup in it? All right, Suicide Squad. Sure, why not?
Let's go with it.
All right. Next week is Ant-Man. Next week is Ant-Man. I'm not sure. But also check out the Indiegogo. I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but like check out that's all right. Every other video we put up does too. But check out our Indiegogo link for our Indiegogo on the sequel to the Snob movie. Oh, we're doing a sequel to the Snob movie, by the way.
You know, I thought I'd heard that.
Surprise.
Well, I died already, so...
Oh, don't worry, he'll be back. Dying in the first one, just be a different character. Instead of playing Scott Bakula, you play Dean Stockwell.
It's like, no, guys, I swear to God, I just met Harry Dean Stanton.
Check out that link in the description, and yeah, donate to it, share it, pass it around, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next week. Later.